Week 1 for the Detroit Lions OTAs is in the books, and we got some stuff to talk about coming from Pride of Detroit. Now, I can't wait to get an insider. I cannot wait to have an insider because I would love to know what's going on, man, on the inside, have my own person, dedicated person to be able to feed me information. I don't want to be that guy, but I wouldn't mind if somebody was able to do that for me so we could get kind of the skinny. Jameson Williams put out an Instagram post today, got a lot of people worried. Now, there was not OTAs today, but just to have somebody with some inside knowledge, that would be phenomenal. But what we're going to do, we're going to go over select bits from the article. I will do, like I usually do, is link it in the description so you guys can read the full thing. Now, this is some stuff that I saw and that I wanted to point out. Now, Jared Goff was off. You'll see that. You'll go, these guys have been off for 4 months, so I'm not really tripping at that. But here's the first thing we're going to go over is what Jeremy, I want to say this was Jeremy, what he saw about Hendon Hooker. Here's what he had to say. Says, Thursday was our first look at Hendon Hooker for an entire practice since Detroit drafted him last year. Personally, I thought it was a very mixed bag from the second-year quarterback. The ball does jump very nicely off his hands, and he can really put some zip on it. He roped a few passes up the seam that some starting quarterbacks probably couldn't throw. However, the accuracy was inconsistent at best. A couple of passes probably should have been picked off. That said, he did connect on a deep shot. The biggest question Hooker faces at the next level is his processing skills. And I saw both some good and some bad with him on Thursday. One rep, he took way too long to check down the ball to Tom Kennedy, giving Amik Robinson time to read the play and nearly pick it off. On the very next play, he patiently made his reads, finding running back Jake Funk, and placed the ball where Funk could catch it and turn upfield. Now, Hendon Hooker, work in progress. This guy is going to be a backup quarterback at best for the foreseeable future. So I'm not really tripping on anybody kind of having a rough time. These guys have been off for months. This is the closest they've had to real football in almost 4 months. But for Hendon, it's always been a thing about the next level. You know, when he got out of that Tennessee offense, how would he fit in an NFL offense? And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see that in real NFL game action. Now, the preseason, I do believe that Hendon Hooker is going to probably split snaps, a lot of them with Nate Sudfeld. But you have to ask yourself this question. If the Detroit Lions are going to look at Hendon Hooker as the backup, knowing that you can only have 2 active quarterbacks on the roster, then you've got the emergency quarterback and then the practice squad quarterback. There's no way Hendon's going on the practice squad. Somebody could come take him, right? So he will make the 53-man roster. But if you go, do you risk Hendon getting hurt? All right, by him playing in the preseason, because if he goes down, then that means that we are going to be in need for a backup quarterback. And I think that that is something that the Detroit Lions are going to have to consider. Now, I do believe that we are going to see him quite a bit when it comes to the preseason and be able to quench that thirst of Hendon Hooker to see exactly what we're going to be looking at. Now, it was another part in here that I wanted to bring out. I want to say it was about, we went over Jameson Williams yesterday. Offensive linemen, they have some stuff about them in there. The defensive linemen, they have some stuff about them in there. I think it was the wide receivers. We talked about Jameson Williams, but it was Antoine Green. That's what it was. Here is what Jeremy had to say about Antoine Green. Says elsewhere, he's talking about Jameson Williams previously, it's worth noting that it appeared Antoine Green was getting primary work with the first team offense, with Donovan Peoples-Jones getting sprinkled in. The only notable play from either was a 20-yard gain from Peoples-Jones with the second team offense. The play of the day came from Kaden Davis. That is Kaden Davis. Shout out to Braylon and everyone else. Kaden Davis was the receiver that Terrion Arnold was chasing in that highlight that we brought up last week. And then the Detroit Lions, they brought him in for a workout. He wind up, they offered him a spot on the team, and this guy could be making waves in the future. Says a rookie minicamp tryout who ended up signing with the team. That's what I just said. Davis was closely covered on a deep shot from Hooker, but found late separation against Vildor for a huge gain and a touchdown. Worth noting that J-Mo was one of the first down the field to celebrate the big play. So Jameson Williams, we talked about him yesterday, and he got in front of the media and said some things that show maturity. And he said something about Antoine Green picking up things faster than he did. It seemed like that. So that's very intriguing. But Kaden Davis is going to be an intriguing prospect to watch as the OTA minicamp. This guy had a rookie tryout. And I know a lot of people said Terrion didn't get beat, but he made up for it at the end, which is what mattered. But the beginning of that play, that was Kaden Davis, right? That put the separation between and got the space to begin with. So this guy could really, really make the team. Now, there's one other thing I'm going to bring out is going to be a situational drill, and then I'll let you guys read the rest from Pride of Detroit. Be sure to check them out. It says, near the end of the practice, the Lions had the first and second team offense try to score in a very specific situation. 35 seconds left, starting on their own 28-yard line with only one timeout. So that would mean they would need to go 72 yards for the score. Since the first team offense was relatively successful, no surprise there. After a pressure from McNeil forced an interception, Goff found Jameson Williams incompletion. I'm sorry. Goff, I'm about to say that's going to change the play. Goff found Jameson Williams for 25 to 30 yards, and the Lions caught a timeout with 23 seconds left. On the next play, Goff found St. Brown for 9 yards, and they followed it with a spike. After a throwaway on third down, the Lions settled for a 52-yard field goal attempt. Both Michael Badgley and James Turner attempted to kick from there, and both made it with plenty of distance to spare. All right, now what about the second team? The second team was slightly less successful. A check down to Shane Zylstra picked up just 7 yards and forced the first time out. An in-breaking route from Peoples-Jones picked up nearly 20 yards, but after spiking the ball to stop the clock, Hooker managed just a couple more yards, setting up a field goal from about 60 yards. While both Badgley and Turner kick had enough distance, only Badgley's made it through the uprights, while Turner was just a few yards wide right. Now, the reason that I started laughing is because of the second team. Like the second team, they're of course going to have a tougher time. This is the second team, but it's a couple things that I noticed from that description. Number one is Donovan Peoples-Jones playing with the second team. He's playing more of a second team while Antoine Green is getting first team reps. So if you think about it, could Antoine Green, if the Lions only go with 5 wide receivers like they did last year, Jameson Williams, Antoine Green, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, and Donovan Peoples-Jones will probably be that fifth. But could someone else possibly come in? Or Kaden Davis push Donovan Peoples-Jones? I don't know. Second team, look out for that. That does mean something. And the second thing is, we talked about a lot about Jake Bates, and I heard Dave Phipp talk about how he's had his eye on him and things like that, and he's happy for his success. But Michael Badgley is now hitting from 60 yards. I'm telling you, bro, Michael Badgley, he hears all the talk about Jake Bates, and it seems like he's putting in work. He's putting in that work. Badgley was solid for us during the playoffs, right? He hit that crucial 54-yarder to help us beat the Los Angeles Rams for the Detroit Lions' first home playoff game. But you better believe the thing about Badgley was I think Patterson was more accurate, but he had a weaker leg. Badgley had a stronger leg, but he lacked the accuracy. So now you got Jake Bates who can do it all. So I'm telling you, man, you hear Michael Badgley hears the footsteps. Either way it goes, I mean, I'll be happy. Of course, Jake Bates is going to be a hot commodity when he comes out the NFL, the UFL, and 31 teams are going to be fighting for him other than us, right? So Michael Badgley, if you do what you've been doing, bro, okay, cool. As long as we got a kicker that can hit distance, then that's all I need. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below about OTAs. What do you think? Again, check the description for this article. You can fill out the blanks, and it's some very good information, positional breakdown and stuff like that. So shout out to those guys from Pride of Detroit. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.